Thinking about buying or selling a home in El Paso's Far East, this is one of the fastest growing parts of the city, and in this video we're going to break down the top 3 neighborhoods that you need to be aware of in the 79938 zip code. Whether you're moving in or moving on, this is going to be your Far East field guide.
And if you're curious to know what your home is worth in the Far East, or you need help finding the right neighborhood to buy in, reach out anytime. We live here, we work here, and we would love to help.
For sure, and let's just jump right into it. So, the Far East is pretty easy to categorize because it's essentially just that 79938 zip code, which makes it kind of easy. So, let's talk a little bit about kind of the pros and the cons of the Far East, and then we're going to really get specific and go deep and really explain what the homes are valued at, which areas are the best. But let's jump into kind of a general, what's good, what's not good.
So let's start with the pros. One of the pros is going to be that this is going to be one of the most popular suburbs in the entire El Paso area. Another pro is going to be the homes are going to be pretty much newer compared to the rest of El Paso. There's going to be a lot of new construction in the area. Another positive is going to be all the amenities. Anything that you can think of that you need is going to be pretty close by. You don't really need to drive far away. Another convenience and pro about the area is going to be the location, especially if you're in the military. It's pretty convenient when it comes down to getting to Fort Bliss.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about the cons, and really, quite honestly, there aren't too many in my humble opinion. The biggest one we hear about is traffic. So sometimes in the early mornings, towards that dinner time rush, that can get kind of congested. So getting in and off of 375 can be a little bit gnarly. You know, you get a lot of people coming in and out from the base, and so traffic can be a little bit congested at those certain times. Other than that, you know, keep in mind in El Paso, these aren't huge home lots, maybe 0.15, 0.2 acres more or less, so you're not getting a huge yard, but again, this is a desert and most people don't really want or need a huge yard. And beyond that, it's a great suburb location. If you want something that's a little bit more urban, then you should probably move a little bit closer to downtown. The Far East is probably maybe 12 miles from downtown. So the Far East is definitely suburban, but that's what most people are looking for. And let's kind of jump into what the normal home in the Far East is, all right? Alex is gonna break down the specifics, and then I'm just gonna give you kind of some general information. So, like we said, this is certainly one of the fastest growing areas in El Paso. Most of the homes were built between 2000 and now. There's still some ongoing construction. So most of the homes are gonna be, you know, newer, right? You're not gonna find 1950s, 1980s. You're gonna mostly find from about 2000 on. And most of the homes are stucco, whether they're single story or 2-story stucco homes. Most of them, since they are newer, they're gonna have refrigerated air, not the evaporative coolers like you might find in an older part of town. And again, they're gonna have a modestly sized yard. The front yard typically is landscaped, xeriscaped, rock, plants, things like that, low maintenance. And then the backyard is almost always going to be fenced in with a rock wall. And again, it could be completely unfinished if it's a new build, or it could be xeriscape. There might be turf back there. There might be a pergola. Some homes, yeah, there might be pools. Sheds are really common for some additional storage. And beyond that, that's kind of your general Far East home. But for a little bit more information, especially on pricing, let's turn it over to Alex here.
Yeah, so like you said, homes, pretty new area. Most homes are gonna be, you know, like you say, early 2000s all the way to 2025. I'll say average, you know, 2010s is very popular. Now the price of the homes, that you can get a home in the low 200s all the way to $1 million, but $1 million is rare. The majority of homes are gonna be between $200,000 to $400,000. There's a few homes, 4, 5, 6, 7, 800,000, but for the majority of those areas, you're not gonna find that. A lot of people, if they're gonna spend over 5, 6, 700,000, they prefer to go to the west side. So that is pretty much the average of the prices of the homes there. Again, super new area. Most of the new builds are gonna be obviously more towards the east side of the Far East, what we call it.
For sure, and just to tag onto that, while Alex was talking, we were showing some of our more recent listings, and a lot of these, those videos that you're seeing, that's a good example of kind of the normal Far East home. You know, a lot of them have tile floors, maybe carpet in the bedrooms. Again, now, you know, some of them are going on 5, 10, 15 years old, so to some of us, you know, they might starting to look a little bit dated. Of course, the more affordable homes, you know, we're gonna have laminate countertops. The higher priced homes are gonna have the granite and things like that. But these videos kind of give you, I hope, a pretty good idea of kind of what your normal Far East home is kind of like. And so let's now jump into what we think are the top 3 neighborhoods in the Far East. We're gonna start with an older one, but a really fantastic one. We've been doing these videos now for going on 4 or 5 years where we create these neighborhood spotlight videos, and the very first video I ever did was me driving around just holding my camera, and I ended up actually recording this area. This area is called Ventanas. This is not a huge area, but it's kind of super conveniently located close to 375 in Saragossa. And at the time, it was probably one of the higher end kind of parade of homes type of areas. And now they're just really nice resale homes. So Alex has some specifics on Ventanas.
So for Ventanas area, the year of the homes there, they start around 2006 all the way to 2022, but the average of the year of the homes there are, I'm gonna say it's 2015. It's a really, really nice area, like John said. Price of the homes there, they start at $230,000. They go all the way up to $356,000. I'll say the average price point home there is gonna be around $275,000.
For sure, and another thing we wanted to do in this video is tell you kind of what amenities, like the big amenities are right there. And so for Ventanas, Target is right in your backyard. The Albertsons, there's a new Albertsons, is super, super nice. It's really close. There's a Sprouts, it's more like an organic grocery store that's right there. And there's a lot of nice retail. You know, if you look on a map, and by the way, speaking of maps, if you're looking to buy a home, we have a map with the overlays of all these different areas. So reach out to us, we can get that to you. But Saragossa has tons and tons of retail. So Ventanas, you're in great shape for all the major amenities that you would need. So that's a great area. We really, really like that one. Let's jump to kind of the next bigger one. Ventanas isn't that large, okay? So the next bigger one, we're gonna jump up to a little bit further north, just south of Montana, around the Eastside Regional Recreation Center. There's a water park in here. The rec center is also called the Beast, has an amazing pool, all sorts of facilities. Your kids, you could walk to this thing. There's so much to do right there, open to the public, of course. This is a really cool area just because it is so close, I think, to that rec center, and there's a lot of really nice homes in there. So let's hand this one over to Alex.
So for this area, the year build of the homes is gonna be 2004 all the way to 2015, so slightly older area. I would say the average of the homes here is gonna be 2012. The price starts at $210,000 all the way to $588,000. I would say the average price point home there is gonna be on the high 200,000s.
For sure. And what amenities are right there? Of course, you've got that amazing Eastside Rec Center right there, but there's a Walmart Market. There's another just big regular Walmart right there. There's an Albertsons. You're also close to the Albertsons in that one. And there's a really great hospital, Providence. We've got some footage of this. This is an amazing large hospital. So if you know, being close to doctors is really, really important to you, this could be an option. So yeah, that is a really fantastic location. And our third neighborhood, this one by far is the biggest one, and you can see, we'll pop the map up here, but you can see that it really is kind of on the eastern outskirts of the Far East where a lot of new development is happening, which also reminds me of this. We wanted to mention this to people because sometimes people will reach out and they'll say, hey, like, what's around the houses? Like what's on the outskirts around the houses? That's a great question. I'd say 70% of it is just open desert. So if you're into like off-roading or Jeeps or anything like that, this is gonna be a paradise for you because you can go forever out there. Then there's like some older homes. I believe it's called Homestead Meadows is out there. This isn't an area that's probably going to resonate with a ton of buyers, but there's kind of older homes, I guess, out there, some older retail that's kind of out there. But for the most part, you're just pretty much surrounded by desert. So this area, we're just going to call it kind of the Pebble Hills area because Pebble Hills kind of runs through it. Pebble Hills High School is right there. But this is a really fantastic area where I'd say the majority of the new construction is happening. We've got some drone shots of like these lots that are being cleared right now as we speak, where new homes are going to be built. But this is a really great area if you're looking for maybe the higher end new construction or even just maybe the higher end resale. Yep.
Like you mentioned, that area is very, very popular if you're looking for new construction homes. The year of the homes there is from 2013 all the way to 2025. I'll say the average is 2021, pretty new construction area. Now the prices of the homes there, they start at $226 and they go all the way to $950. Like I mentioned at the beginning, there are some homes that are close to $1 million, very few of them, and it's gonna be in this new area. But I would say the average price of the homes there are gonna be between 300,000 to 400,000, so I would say it's the majority of homes there. So a little bit higher price point and nicer homes as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there are some outliers there. Yeah, the $800,000, $900,000 homes, but for the most part, you're looking at slightly larger new construction homes, and just like Alex said, 300,000 to 400,000, and of course, you could find something for more than that if that's what you were looking for. This area, that Walmart market is super close. The Albertson is still close. Pebble Hills High School right there. There's a really epic sports field that's also right there. So quite honestly, all these locations, including just all of the Far East, you're going to be close to parks, you're going to be close to schools, and you're going to be close to all the amenities that you could possibly need. So I would say that the Far East definitely is our most popular suburb in El Paso. Horizon City is certainly, I think, a close second. The west side, of course, is right there, the northeast. But every different pocket of El Paso is a little bit different. And if you're looking to sell your home, definitely consider reaching out to us. We pride ourselves on being the best at listing homes, making sure that they get in front of buyers, and we get our homes in front of buyers not only through the traditional means, but through this YouTube channel. If you're a relocating buyer or any buyer for that matter and you're interested in these homes, of course, reach out to us. You do want a competent and experienced real estate agent helping you the whole way. We look forward to making our next ones. We're still gonna do one of these videos for Horizon City. For the Northeast, lots of new stuff coming in there, Campo del Sol. And then of course the West Side, so there's so much kind of going on over there, including some of the options that you might find interesting in New Mexico. So thanks so much for watching. If you find this material valuable, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you're buying or selling a home, please consider reaching out to us directly.